pick up another body and come back to Earth and another life. Where are you? What are you doing? I mean, it's just something that somebody would want to do.
Yeah. See, you'll have to understand why this question. Where is this question even coming from? See, for the body that is a part of the physical reality, there is a severe limitation in terms of how it's experiencing reality. Everything is a limitation. The body can be in one place, in only one place at a time. Now, if I have to be there, then it takes effort. I need to get up, I need to walk and reach there. So it takes time. So there's a limitation to the body. But if you just project this to the mind, for the mind there is no limitation. The mind can simply imagine you being there and it's enough. It doesn't take any time. It takes a single moment. If I'm sitting here, if I want to imagine going back to India and tasting the wonderful spicy food, it doesn't take very long. Although I cannot simply be in that imagination, but I can get a glimpse of it. In a single moment, I can go to the streets where I grew up. It takes a single moment, right? Now, for the self, an enlightened self, even this limitation doesn't exist. Because, okay, you guys are asking questions for which it's very difficult to explain or give an answer, but then I'll try. The being, the pure being, a being without a mind, without the body, is your very nature. That's the reality of existence itself. That is why we call existence existence, because existing is its very nature. Existence never gets bored of existing. It never says, oh, I've existed for such a long time, let me go take a break. Why? Because it is not tired. See, this idea of tiredness, this idea of, having existed for such a long time, all these things come only from the body. Think about it. Only the body gives meaning to all these things. Boredom, desire, desire to do multiple things, desire to not be stuck in one nature of lifestyle. All this comes from the body, because the body is a continuously ever changing phenomenon, and the body doesn't like to simply just be. That's why it doesn't like stillness. Till you practice how to be still, it's an extraordinarily difficult phenomenon for the body to be still. The body wants to continuously keep moving, keep doing different things, keep experiencing different things, because it knows that this is not its permanent resting place. The body cannot rest. That's why from morning till evening it is in constant movement and agitation. And then reluctantly at the end of the day, since it's so tired, it just goes to sleep. But for the self, since there is no body, there is no question of doing different things or being tired of existing, because the self is the very womb of existence. It is the very nature of existence. That self is pure perception, pure light. It perceives everything, it experiences everything. But since there is no individual there to experience, it is a universal self. So it never gets bored. And when you experience awakening, you cannot remain in that state for very long. You will experience that state, and eventually the memory of your body, the memory of your thoughts will pull you back. And then you know who you are, you know the nature of reality. But still you will continue to exist with the body. You will continue to use your body. But you will know for sure that you are not the body. And that's a state of pure bliss. That is why again in Hindu terminologies, we call the nature of reality as truth, consciousness, and bliss. This is where the word Satchidananda comes from. It's Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat is truth, Chit is consciousness, and Ananda is bliss. So all three are a part of that reality. It is the truth because it never changes. It is Chit because it is always conscious, it is always alive. It is Ananda because it is always blissful. So the state of an awakened mind is a state of eternal truth, eternal perception, and eternal bliss. It is blissful because it doesn't have a body to disturb it. It is eternally conscious because it does not have a mind to disturb it. It is truth because it is beyond all this changing phenomenon of life. It simply is. That isness, that amness is what you're seeking. And it is not somewhere far away. Sometimes when we use language like this, oh, Satchidananda, consciousness, isness, you might feel, oh, I have to go reach it. It is so far away. Why am I not able to reach it? You're not able to reach it because you are that. If there was any separation between you and that, you could have reached it. The problem is, you are all this, but you think you're not. In your thoughts, you have become somebody else. You have accumulated, gathered all these thoughts of limitation that is not allowing you to simply experience your own nature. In fact, there is no physical limitation. Even at this very moment, you are absolutely free. If I tell you that you are here as well as everywhere at this very moment, the first thing that your mind will do is it will reject that idea. What nonsense is it? I'm here, I'm sitting here, how can I be there? If I tell you that bird in the sky is you, your mind completely rejects that idea. Why? Because you have built this limitation. Throughout your life, you have created this limitation for yourself. Oh, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm only capable of doing this, I can only do this much, I can only walk this far. This idea of I can do this, I can be this, it has become so ingrained in your mind that the I is completely trapped in that. Otherwise, if you think about it, the I is boundless. The self is boundless. It is the same self that manifests as a bird and as you simultaneously. Not one after the other. The existence incarnates itself into multiple things simultaneously. It does not require time. At this very moment, the dolphins in the ocean share the same life as you. There's no difference at all. The whole universe is one pulsating aliveness, the center of which is you. But this is such a vast idea to grasp. It is such a different concept to grasp. Your mind goes simply, what nonsense is all this? You should not be listening to this guy. You should be doing something else. Because you really want to know who you are, just go stand in front of the mirror. That is all what you are. That's what your mind says. And that's what you've been doing. In your experience, you are actually vast. But in your image, you are very tiny. See, I'm not saying that your body is not tiny. It's just a small, tiny creature walking on the earth. The body is not big. It's very small, very tiny. I mean, stand next to a tree, you will know how tiny you are. But what about the consciousness in you that is contemplating on the body, the earth, the tree, and even the sky? Isn't that something big? Although you are tiny, although you think you're tiny, you can contemplate on the whole universe. You're trying to understand everything. Why? If you were just a tiny simple phenomenon of life, why don't you just live and die one day? It's because you are something other than what you think you are. You have trapped yourself in this world of ideas. And that's all meditation is. When you sit in meditation, body is not changing. Physically, nothing is changing. It's all the same. But all the limitations that you have created in your mind, that limitation dissolves, and in a moment you will realize that seamless reality which you are always a part of. That is why enlightenment is not an achievement. It is a very funny experience. It is to realize what you have always been. And the greatest of, stupidities of enlightenment is not enlightenment. Greatest of realization is not enlightenment. It is to realize how is it that when your nature of reality has been so different, you have attached yourself to a body and existed like this. You cannot even believe, you will not even believe that you were thinking that you were only this, you're only this. That is the moment of realization. That is where the whole beauty of enlightenment comes from. It's because of the stupidity of the body that enlightenment is such a glorious experience. Otherwise, awakening is as simple as just sitting and being yourself. It's realizing your own nature. But enlightenment seems to be such a spectacular event because of the stupidity of the body. Because all the time it is being trapped, and that too it has trapped you in an imaginary way, in no real way. Even at this very moment, if you can sit and drop the desire to be here, you can simply expand. But your mind will constantly interfere. What do you mean expand? I cannot expand. I'm just stuck here. I'm stuck here. That's why when you dissolve this thought process and when the cloud begins to clear, when you get the glimpses of the sky, then you will know how beautiful is your inner nature. Now, even if you don't search for it, even if you say, okay, I don't want to seek all this, I just want to live a simple life, enjoy my life and die someday, you cannot do that because constantly the inner reality within you keeps reminding you that you are something more. Every time you are in pain and suffering, this reality is what is questioned. It will come and ask you, why are you suffering? Because suffering is not your nature. Suffering is something that you have accumulated as a part of your life. No human being should suffer, if you ask me. No human being should writhe in pain. No human being should go through life in such misery of not knowing who they are. Every individual has the right to know their true nature. And that true nature is enough. As Jesus says, that is enough to set you free. That's all. The truth will set you free. Just realizing this truth, just realizing this nature of yours is enough. You are free. But there is a way to realize this. There's a method to realize this. There's a process to realize it. And it is a very scientific method. It's a very systematic method. And it's the oldest method, meditation. The more you understand the nature of meditation, the more you begin to trust in it, the more you will get closer and closer to your original nature.